Dugout, firstly, happy Diwali. The Diwali cheers are continuing. You can see we are all smiling in the Sports Today studio. The cheer is still there. Hope you had a safe and you had a very prosperous Diwali in your neighborhoods and in your cities where you spent. Shane and Harshit, the two Delhi boys, how was your Diwali?
Mine was good. Although I will say that if we're talking about, I'd say firecracker bursting is one thing. The time limits were severely kind of breached though after a point. It was supposed to be till 10 o'clock. 2 o'clock in the morning, there were times I could hear firecrackers go off.
Well, that's how...
The festive cheer, a lot of people got a little carried away.
You do get to carry away with that. What about you, Harshit?
I had a good time. See, again, the cracker bit and everything, it's a different conversation, and nothing about that surprised me as far as that breach that Shane just mentioned. Otherwise, I think it was good time, spending time with family, friends, just a few friends who visited. And you often look forward to good food on the day of Diwali. So
good food, good
so
sweets.
there was no calorie count yesterday for sure, I can tell you.
No.
And there was binge eating, and I loved it. Much of it was guilt free, I would say. And yeah, always a good time. Different sweets in the house. You have a buffet of sweets to choose from. And I had a good time feasting over those sweets.
You know, why am I asking this particular question? Because this year truly has been a year of firsts. Because for the first time, after 3-4 years, we didn't have any major thing on Diwali. The year before, we had an IPL thing that we had to do the preview, the auction thing. 23, we had a World Cup match. 22, prior to Diwali, we had India-Pakistan. 21 also, correct me if I'm wrong, we had the T20 World Cup encounter.
Yeah, it was there and thereabouts of Diwali. Okay?
Correct. So imagine in a year of firsts, we all could at least spend quality time with family.
Yeah.
And that is the one thing that we always want, quality time with family on a festive occasion. Because today, one of our colleagues, when you look at it on the floor, she was really homesick. She had to come the day after Diwali. And joining office and the family is over 1,000 kilometers away in Bengaluru. She was crying her eyes out. So that's why homesickness is real. So that's why whoever got a chance to spend with family, be blessed, because these are very rare moments. And one more major thing, and this was the miracle. That's why it's a year of first. I could see the sky. I could see the building beside me the day after Diwali.
Yeah, but I think you were one of the lucky ones, because I've seen a lot of people complain about the AQI levels going to exactly what we expected.
Exactly. So that is the way we are looking at it.
How about your Diwali, Siddharth? We've answered the question for you. Please
My
tell
Diwali was
us and the family members joining us right now, how is it that you spent your Diwali?
3 years afterwards. I could spend a full day with my kid, with my wife in Diwali, and we just had lots of fun.
Also, since we know your love for sweet, please tell us what all did you eat?
We got a lot of gulab jamuns. There was kaju katli, which is the sweet in this Diwali. Then there was
No son
rasgulla.
No son papadis?
No son papadis. Unfortunately, no son papadis. And there was
Count yourself
peda.
lucky.
Then there was peda and there was motichur laddu.
Oh,
I
lovely.
love those.
Yeah. So yes, it was a grand feast. Daughter capping it off with bhajans. We had that puja time, 7 to 8, and then we attended the Kali puja also that was going on in the society.
Oh, there's a Kali Puja being held. Very interesting.
Yes.
I'm assuming the Bengalis there would have been organizing that.
Of course, and because she had performed in one of the cultural programs there, that's why she was getting a prize from the Bengali club, and that's why we got the invitation for the Kali Puja as well, and we got the prize as well. So yes, it was a great Diwali for the first time. My daughter did ask me, "You don't have to go to office on Diwali." I said, "No, we are work from home, but yes, evenings I can spend time with you." So she was stunned that yes, you have a holiday on Diwali. See, that's how our lives are at this point.
It takes you back to that old meme, isn't it? Diwali में तो सबकी छुट्टी होती है, सबकी छुट्टी नहीं
होती है Lakshman. Indeed, that was how. We neither have we celebrated festivals with Gatso because we miss all the major things because of sporting calendar being cramped as it is. The same Indian cricket team. Look at it. They are celebrating in Adelaide at this point.
Yeah, tell us. I think we need to get into now some cricket as well.
Yeah, so the Indian cricket team had a practice session today. There was no press conference.
What about Diwali celebrations for them?
They kind of they did their job. They obliged the fans though. There was a lot of fans at the Adelaide Oval. The Virat Kohli in particular, he turned up, he signed autographs for them, he posed for selfies to a certain extent, and the Indian team just went about their professional job in that sense in Adelaide. In far clearer skies and far clearer environments, they went about their job. Tomorrow, there will be a practice session and a press conference. So that we'll have to look into tomorrow as we build up to the second ODI. Apart from that, there have been a lot of other things which have been doing rounds in the world of sport. I mean, Ronaldo, we thought he's coming to Goa, but he's not coming. So
we thought it'd be like Messi, turned out to be like Neymar.
Yes. Even correct me, Neymar also hasn't visited India.
No, he was close to, because Al Hilal were drawn with Mumbai, but then he ended up picking up a very bad injury, so he was out for months. In his case, it was unfortunate. I think he would have played the match also, because I don't think his contract had any of the clauses that are being rumored are there in Ronaldo's contract. So I think he would have played that match.
Because remember, folks, there's even workload management even in football. That's what Ronaldo is aspiring to. He wants to maintain the working hours so that he can be fit for the 2026 World Cup that will be held. So
I mean, age is definitely not on his side in that regard. So
he's 40, right?
He's close to 40. And what happens there is that you do have to start managing your minutes. It's just a very normal thing. And obviously, don't forget, when it comes to these matches, it's also the travel factor. You have to be flying to India, then there'd be that travel. So it kind of makes no sense for him to be playing these games. None whatsoever.
But the one thing which kind of didn't make sense, raised eyebrows, and also ensured that, okay, we have a major talking point post Diwali is, today we got to know the India A squad. Okay. No surprises. People are wondering, India A? What is the big fuss about India A? 3 major talking points. And we'll touch on each one of them. Rishabh Pant be named as the skipper. All the matches will take place at Centre of Excellence ground in Bengaluru. He's the captain, so his timeline we know now. Yes, he's back. So he's not playing Ranji. He's playing directly the India A series.
Yeah, I think otherwise his comeback would have been Delhi's match, which would have been taking place in that week. That would have been his ideal comeback window. But if he's playing India A, then that means no Ranji, and he's leading this side also.
Yep, he's leading the side. But our vice captain is Sai Sudarshan. Okay, we'll come to that a bit later. But amongst this entire squad, 2 names are missing. And this will be our major focus today, because no Sarfaraz, no Shami. And let me just tell you what has happened. First round of Ranji games, Sarfaraz kind of underwhelmed against Jammu Kashmir. Okay, at about a 30, if I'm not mistaken, 30 odd score. Mumbai somehow managed to win a close game against Jammu and Kashmir in Srinagar. Shami picked up 7 wickets against Uttarakhand. Bengal was Uttarakhand. And this comes amidst what Ashwin had given an explanation on the Ajit Agarkar Mohammed Shami situation. Because Ajit Agarkar had said that there was no fitness. I mean, there was a fitness issue. That's why he was not picked. But Shami is saying, you all saw me how I bowl. Let him say whatever he wants to. Shami not been picked. Sarfaraz not been picked. And I think there is no injury concern. Simple question, folks. What is the plausible reason that they would have been let off? I mean, why have they not been picked?
And it's interesting you mentioned the injury thing, because I remember when the side was picked for the West Indies test, at that point also Agarkar was questioned about the exclusion of Sarfaraz, and he said very clearly that he's had an injury, so he was not available for selection. But if he has had an injury, that's the only reason that he wasn't available for selection, would imply that he'd then be in contention on the scheme of things for other future matches that may come. I'm not saying give him a recall for South Africa, because it's worth remembering he wasn't playing the England series either. But then how does he not make it to the A squad?
But he featured in the first round of the Ranji, right?
He did.
So clearly,
so there's no fitness issues
exactly.
anymore.
So the injury concerns have clearly been allayed, if there were any, and that press conference that you were talking about happened a good month and a half back. So that thing's gone now. You've played those 2 matches against the West Indies as well. You're building up to the new series, and truth be told, this is a very strong indicator, if you ask me. The fact that there's no Shami, and so much happened over the course of the last week where Shami also broke his silence on the exclusion. You've heard in very close proximity comments made by Ajit Agarkar as well. We also heard him say at one of the conclaves here in Delhi NCR with a news organization that if Shami was fit, he'd be playing or he'd be on the squad sheet. That's what he said the other day. So those are telling statements firstly, and what you see would ultimately happen in terms of not the senior team but India A as well. Given that the two players we're talking about are in contention, are in fact playing the ongoing Ranji Trophy, then there's a huge message over there for the two of them. In case of Shami, I would still sort of, I still sort of would understand there being some sort of logic if you want to move past a player, and maybe there's just not proper communication that's happened yet, or you may be in two minds whether you want to move away from Shami or not. But in case of Sarfaraz, I just don't understand what's happening, and it's not making any cricketing sense to me. The guy scored a very good 100 for you in that New Zealand
150
New Zealand series that also happened in Bangalore, if I'm not wrong. That 150 that he scored. So no, not in Bangalore. I think it happened.
You're correct.
Bangalore.
It happened in Bangalore. Second innings.
And then first innings less.
46.
Less said the better. But yeah, since then you haven't seen, since that series you haven't seen him. You cast these aspersions on his technique for the BGT. You didn't include him there. Then there were those aspersions that were cast for the England tour as well. Then you told us that he's got an injury. There were reports of some weight management that he needed. He's done exactly that as well. He's lost all the weight that some of those in the BCCI boardroom who wanted him to look fitter, he's done exactly that. His numbers remain very good. Yes, I know he underwhelmed to begin with in the Ranji Trophy first match, but otherwise everything that he's done till now cannot be forgotten. And yeah, he's also not been he's been looked past in many ways, just as much as Shami, I believe, has been now.
No, I mean, I just want to know what wrong has a Sarfaraz and a Shami done. Okay, I think in the case of Shami, injury, clearly. That 1 year which he missed because of that ankle, I think whenever Shami's had an injury, it's been for a very long break. I mean, I remember 2015, after the 2015 World Cup, I think he was on the sidelines for 1.5 years with that knee injury. I think he gave a comment also that I struggled to walk.
He was taking injections, I remember, just to play that World Cup. And then once the World Cup was done, he had to undergo a surgery. So, yeah.
And see, when was the last time he played a test match? WTC final of 2023. Over 2 years now. Last time when he played a match, ODI match, was in the Champions Trophy. 7 months ago. He's played one game in the Ranji Trophy. Okay. Sarfaraz and Shami, I'll just tell you, by the time you can make your point, Shane, about I don't know what wrong have these two done.
See, but Shami's case, I'll give one small benefit of the doubt, is that if you had a worry about his fitness isn't just about how he's playing now, it's also his durability. Look, age is not on his side, if we're being fair. Yeah. He's already in his mid-30s. Clearly, I remember watching him not only during the Champions Trophy, but even in the IPL. He dropped a few clicks of pace.
Right.
Of course, Shami is the kind of player who will rely more on his ability to get the ball to move the seam.
And be pitched in the right areas.
Exactly. Yeah. But even keeping that aside, even that he wasn't doing as much. I remember he had maybe one good game in the Champions Trophy.
5 wickets against Bangladesh.
Exactly. Beyond that, not really much. Even in the IPL, kind of underwhelmed for Sunrisers Hyderabad. So I think the main focus is not so much on his fitness in terms of can he play a match. It's can he play a number of matches and still stay fit at the end. So if you're keeping that in mind, then I understand why you've not looked at him, at least for India. That I still don't understand why you haven't kept him in the A side. You could keep him there, especially if you look at, and Pawan, can we just look at some of the options over there? They're not that overwhelmingly in terms of some of those names just don't inspire that much confidence. There's a lot of all-rounders for one. Yeah. You've got someone like, you've got Manav Suthar, you've got Anshul Kamboj,
Tanush Kotian.
Tanush Kotian.
Yes, Thakur.
Exactly. These guys, I mean, you've got Khalil over there for crying out loud. Khalil is going to be now in the scheme of things for a test call-up. That's the whole point of an A game, right? You're looking at people who'd be good enough to play test cricket for India. Are you telling me that Khalil Ahmed is going to force his way into the side of things? Arshdeep can't get a game. Where does the Khalil come into the phrase suddenly? I don't understand some of these names. Of course, the Sai Sudarshan thing we'll get to later. That's a whole different thing. But otherwise, even if you look at some of these names, see, Pant, I understand, okay, he's a sure shot back into the 11. This is just using listen, instead of playing Ranji, play the A games. No problem.
See, I just had a check at the numbers. Sarfaraz last played in the New Zealand series. Okay, in the first class game that he played against Jammu and Kashmir, 42-32. Not overtly good numbers, but not overtly bad numbers. He's 27. Shami, age of 35, bowled 39.1 overs in the Bengal versus Uttarakhand match. Picked up 7 wickets. 39.1 overs, when you look at it, if you look at a Jasprit Bumrah and a Mohammed Siraj, that's a test match spell, 40, 42
Absolutely.
overs. So as far as match fitness goes, he's right up there. Not, 39.1 overs is not a mean feat. 24.4 in the second and 14.3 in the first innings. Shami's fitness, I don't know where the communication is lagging. I mean, you may enhance all your social media, you may enhance all the phones to touch phone, to AI phones, but BCCI communication with player has always remained an issue.
I wonder again, I have no concrete proof of this, but just a thought that came to my mind. Maybe, the more the story is unfolding between the BCCI and Shami, more this sounds like a case of a player wanting to play for his country, which is many players out there. But then there's also the BCCI's vision, in which Shami doesn't fit into anymore. That's the indication that you're getting. That's at least the sense I make, or that the sense that I get from the ongoing situation.
No, I think you're
When
right.
your ICC MVP suddenly doesn't fit
That
into
also,
vision.
but that's also a 2-year-old story now, Siddharth.
Agreed.
Which is why.
His injuries haven't helped.
Yeah.
Agreed. But then, was it his fault that he got injured? Shami, because that ankle injury, he also played through the pain of that World Cup.
Because what you're, I think, realizing with Shami is, if he has these nagging issues of injuries, it's not going to help you on a long tour. And what you want is stability in the longer run. You don't just want to plan for a tournament, let's say like an ICC tournament or the World Cup. If you have these long series, especially in which, if you're having a Shami and a Bumrah, both of whom aren't really guaranteeing, with age not on side of Shami,
35.
and there being workload management in the case of Jasprit Bumrah, can you really have a cohesive bowling unit and a potent bowling unit together, especially away from home? I think the answer to that is no, and which is where I think the BCCI is having to take a tough call on Shami as well, because a Bumrah with age on his side, you can't look past a Bumrah at this point. He has to be there. Whether or not you want to continue playing with Bumrah the way that you are playing is another conversation altogether. But at the moment, we are getting to know that yes, Bumrah fits into the scheme of things for long away test series. They don't want him to be paired with someone else who can break down midway through a series, because there's age not on that player's side, and two, you just don't know, he can be a bit up and down as well, Mohammed. I mean, you rather invest in somebody like a Prasidh Krishna. The fact that he is now making it to multiple formats now, it also gives you a sense that Prasidh Krishna is somebody that they've zeroed in on. There is obviously a Siraj that is always going to be there in test cricket. So I think they've identified a pool of players, a couple of them, and in that, unfortunately, Shami doesn't fit anymore.
So, if this is the current situation, then is it safe to presume that Shami red ball career stalled and is not going anywhere?
It's not just red ball, if that's the case. If they're looking beyond him in tests, but truth be told, I don't think their depth is great. You are one Siraj or Bumrah injury away from playing kids, because that's your depth. That is really your depth at this point in time. You don't have it. Your depth is Harshat Rana and
Arshdeep Singh.
Arshdeep Singh.
Neither of whom are
And
even...
Prasidh Krishna.
Yeah, and Prasidh, that's the thing.
Because Akashdeep is on the back burner now. Mukesh
He's also
Kumar.
a mystery. What's happened with Akash?
Mukesh Kumar is also on the back burner, it seems.
So what's your depth? You don't have depth.
That's the depth. That's the problem. So just sidelining Shami like this might not help. But by this, what you're saying, you're giving an indirect indication. I don't know whether an A tour is an indication of it, but he's not in the scheme of red ball things anymore.
I don't think he'd be in the scheme of even white ball things, because in white ball you still have more options. Again, Harshit and Arshdeep are perfectly capable white ball bowlers. I will hold my horses on that test system, because I feel like they need more game time to develop and learn how to bowl longer spells, learn how to be successful in test cricket. In white ball cricket, I think your depth is fine. So if Shami not making it there is definitely an indication. And if he's not making it in tests, whereas I say your depth is at this point, you're one injury away from having a crisis. I think they've looked beyond him. The problem then also is not so much that you've looked beyond him, but then what are you doing for the next generation? You gave Kamboj a debut in England. And I think that also had as much to do with the fact that he can bat a bit. Let's be very fair. He's a good player. There's no two ways about it. But he's still incredibly raw. And more importantly, not someone who you'd throw into the deep end like that unless there was some sort of an indication that he offered you something more. So I think that may have been one of the things.
This is the era where we want bowlers to be batters.
No, we want bowlers who can bat. But I don't understand. I think it would make more sense to ask your current bowlers to work on their batting. That would be a better ploy than just bringing in anyone who can just bat a bit. Yeah. Because and see, the problem isn't the strategy then. My problem then is that follow through on the strategy. If you want a Kamboj to be a regular in Test cricket, then you need to give him exposure. I'm not just through 8 overs, by the way. Then you need to be playing him in the smaller series as well. You want Nitish Kumar Reddy to be your premier pace bowling all-rounder. And he's just gone through a 2-test series where he barely batted and barely bowled.
Yeah.
So what all-rounder? He's a no-rounder.
He bowled only 5 overs in Ahmedabad. Didn't get a chance to bat. 44 runs in Delhi.
But he didn't get a chance to bowl. He didn't get a chance to bowl. At a time when they were looking to rest people, and remember, they enforced a follow-on.
Yeah.
So you needed to rest your bowlers. He didn't get a chance to bowl in the second innings. Are you kidding me? That's my problem also, is that then follow through. If you've made it clear, or if you feel that this 8-batter philosophy, along with bowlers who can bat, is the way forward, then you need to prepare players for that. Do you have the personnel for it right now? No. You need to kind of prepare that personnel. Otherwise, and again, it really comes down to it. I think they're looking at younger players, because if you really want a number 8 who can bowl a little bit in Test cricket, then you need to look no further than Mumbai's current red ball captain, Shardul Thakur. Someone who's done a job for you in Test match cricket in tough overseas conditions, has that ability of getting you random breakthroughs, can bat a bit, has gotten 50s, including in a WTC, in the WTC final.
Yeah.
Second innings.
Got a 50. So it's not like he's a bad bat. Yeah, first innings. It's not like he's a bad bat. So you're not looking at him partly because of the age thing, I'm guessing. That would be the only reason. Otherwise, he fits in there perfectly. Then play them, give them some exposure on these tours. I don't even see that. Nitish barely bowled.
Exactly.
So
and
you are
Shardul on his comeback also flopped 0-9 and I think got tongued but picked up a couple of wickets.
See, I think with him, you also have to remember this is the first season he's captaining full time.
Yeah.
That the pressures of that are also going to be. Prior to that, you have to remember Mumbai had a very accomplished leader in Rahane. Someone who had that experience, who had the know-how of captaining for ages, and who's played international cricket and knows how to handle that pressure. With Shardul, I think he got the captaincy mainly because he's a senior.
Yes.
Otherwise, there's no other reason to give him the captaincy.
Yeah. Before we come to the next couple of points, I mean, Sarfaraz, what wrong has he done? Because he kind of did well in a series where everyone else failed. The New Zealand series, okay? Pant was your only standout batter in that series. Shubman, Patches, Kohli failed. Rohit failed. You look at all the others, even looking at the others, everybody had a bad time. Jadeja had a bad time. Ashwin had a bad time. Sundar also, the bat didn't contribute. Sarfaraz at least had a 150, but then you look at it 0, then 1, 0, then he hit a 13 and a 9 if I'm not mistaken. But suddenly, from having made your debut against England, doing well there also, doing well against New Zealand, shunned out of BGT, now nowhere in the scheme.
And I think with Sarfaraz, this is one unfortunate thing, but his reputation of being a domestic giant works against him. Because there's a belief, and I've seen this a lot on social media, that, he's only good in Indian conditions. He will struggle in overseas conditions.
By the way, I'm sorry to cut you short, Shane. If anyone says that, they just need to go rewind, watch that Bangalore test match again. That was one of the more bouncier conditions at home that you've...
Also, correct me, the A tour, India A was England A. Didn't Sarfaraz do well there also?
Might have, I don't know.
Before the start of the fight.
I think you're right, Siddharth. Yes, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think he got 100 there.
I have the numbers right here.
I think he got 100 there.
Yeah, I have the numbers
I think so.
right here.
Yeah.
So, just a minute. So, I think, Sarfaraz did very well in that particular series against England. Looking at
the Lions, you mean?
Yeah, the Lions. Because he had scores of 92.
92.
He just had a 92 against them. He played only one. He didn't play the other.
So he played one match and got a 92.
Yeah. He played Indian 11, Prime Minister's 11 in Canberra. That was the last time he played. And after that, he played in May. That's it. He didn't play anything after that.
Yeah, obviously.
What is... okay, Sarfaraz also, inopportune time, he got injured. Buchi Babu hit 100 against Haryana, but then got injured. Now he's trying to come back, but where and how? What wrong has a Sarfaraz done?
And again, if you look at some of the names here, see, there's a Devdutt Padikkal who's done reasonably well in his time, in limited time, let's say, in India for red ball, or in red ball for India. DDP, yeah, he's done okay. Yeah. Gaikwad at this point, I think, is going to go through his entire career being just promise and potential. Sorry to say, his entire career at
started
this point,
well in tough conditions against Kerala, though. Ranji.
I don't know. He's done well in this thing, but where do you fit him? Yeah. That's the constant thing I always say for a lot of cricketers, and particularly those who don't get picked anywhere. Or someone like, I remember the same thing I used to say for even Shreyas Iyer when people were upset he didn't get picked for the Asia Cup. I would be like, where do you play him? His best position is taken up by the captain.
Yeah.
Similar with a Ritu, I don't see you having a pressing need for an opener right now. You don't. Your two opener slots are fairly sorted.
Yes,
so also just another addition to what you just said, promise, potential, but persistent injuries as well.
He gets injured at the most. We're talking about Sarfaraz getting injured at inopportune times. Gaikwad has written the playbook for it. Yeah. Any time he's close to getting a breakthrough, he gets injured.
Yes.
And it's not his fault, obviously. That's not something you can control. But it's bad luck that, truth be told, will not serve you well in the long stretch because there's just too much talent.
And
the pipeline is insane.
Let's not forget the fact that he was seen as a future Indian leader as well. We've seen him.
I mean, you already have tested the waters with him with the IPL captaincy with Chennai Super Kings. And also he's finding it rather tough, let me tell you.
I think, was he not one of the...
Also, kind of in Ranji Trophy, Maharashtra also tried him out as the captain.
And what about the Hongzhou games that you had? Was he not part of the leadership group there as well?
He was the captain, if memory serves me, right?
Yeah.
When you won the
gold medal. Yeah.
When you won
the competition in that tournament.
That's fine. I'm just saying, but look how stocks have plummeted and look how much IPL has now started to make a difference now. Because who's your vice captain now? He's already played test cricket for India. Look at the numbers for him and for Ruturaj Gaikwad then. So for somebody who again hasn't been setting the stage on fire for 2 seasons now, I would say, in the IPL, was looked at the heir apparent and is the heir apparent of Mahendra Singh Dhoni, for that matter. He gets injured. Dhoni
He was the captain, yeah.
Exactly. So from being in the leadership group and was looked at as somebody who will take Indian cricket forward and be that opener for India. He'd form that pair with Yashasvi Jaiswal. That's exactly what we were made to believe a couple of years back. Look how things have changed.
The script is very similar to 2 other players. A KL Rahul and a Ravindra Jadeja. Both had a similar thing. Leadership core, all-rounder. Yes, they'll carry India forward. They are now nowhere in the scheme. Jadeja has given up on leadership. Boss,
I'll play.
Shashtang Pranam. Same with Rituraj. His injuries are such. What leadership? I'll be glad if I can get a slot in the Indian team.
See, his injuries were such. See, I remember 2024 was not an ideal year for him, both as a batter and as a captain for CSK. Purely, I'm just talking CSK. 2025, he got ruled out so early that the person who he replaced had to come back and lead the side in MSD.
Yes.
So that in itself tells you everything about what his future captaincy thing is. That's done and dusted. My point is then you're looking at him, that's fine. But it goes back to my earlier point is that I'm looking at a lot of these guys and a lot of them are either players who are there purely on name recognition. Because I did see Devdutt Padikkal. Did I see what's his name? Yeah, Rajat Patidar's name there? No, I don't see a Patidar.
Patidar was there in the first match.
Game, yeah.
Yeah, for the first match. Yes, I remember seeing his name. So there is
Patidar's done the first match.
Yeah, so and even Patidar has done well in domestic. But if you remember the one limited time he got
England series.
The England series, he was the one batter in that series who didn't score runs.
Yeah. He and Shikhar Bharat didn't score.
Yes, Bharat. Yeah.
Konar,
Shikhar Bharat, that was it. And since Pant's come back, now this series is important for Pant. But I don't understand the need to play a Mohammed Siraj and a KL Rahul in the second game. I agree that the test matches after the end of the ODI series that happens on 25th, you have a break of 15 days. But then you are also going to be playing 2 tests against South Africa. You're going to play 3 ODIs against South Africa. You may be rested for the 5 T20Is from November end to December.
Yeah.
But now, are they now fitting it into that thing of the BCCI that no, what break? Whatever chances we are giving you to play cricket, you have to play cricket.
See, I think there then you need to ask, because a 15-day gap isn't doing an awful lot. It's not. If they're going to be playing ODI cricket anyway, my problem comes if it's a 2-month break or a 1-month break. I don't think 2 weeks is enough to get out of rhythm, personally. So I don't understand that either. I was looking at it, I'm like, it makes, I don't know. It seems to be playing for the sake of it.
No, and also Siraj, when you look at it, you've bowled him to the ground here. I mean,
in England?
Australia, he bowled
Australia as
about
well.
10-15 overs more than Bumrah. England, you bowled him to the ground. You could see in that West Indies match also, his ankle, leg, everything, he's like getting a massage. But there is a serious concern, and here also, he bowled full tilt at Optus. He's going to bowl in Adelaide and Sydney as well. He's luckily not part of the T20Is. But then again, under very unforgiving situations, you bowled him in the West Indies series. You're going to bowl him in unforgiving conditions in Barsapara and Eden. Where is the break for Mohammad Siraj? This is the one guy who's screaming break. That Delhi game showed that, boss, give that man a break. But no, you want to keep on bowling him. And there's a fear for burnout. What if the one guy who you thought, okay, if Jassibai is not there, there is at least Mia to manage it for us. No, you are threatening to bowl him to the ground, and who knows, he may lack that potency in 2026 when there are tougher tours coming up. Maybe not Sri Lanka, but a New Zealand tour, you need him for that.
And don't forget, in 26, you'd be wanting to play a lot, because it's then going to be build up to 27, where
World
come
Cup,
the World Cup, he's going to be one of your key players. He has to be.
You're going to play ODIs, there's the Asia Cup also, all that kind of things. How you're going to manage a
You will
Mohammad
probably
Siraj?
be scrambling for a place in the WTC final also.
Could be, because see, your one major 5-match series is done, 2-2 you have drawn, you won 2-0, you could very well win 2-0 against South Africa also, we prepare ranked turners. Because
Your only tough test now is New Zealand.
New Zealand, that is in October 2026. Sri Lanka, I mean, I don't know, they don't play that much, unfortunately. Can you believe it? When was the last time Sri Lanka played a test match? You have to really go back in time, because I think it was 2025 February. They haven't played any kind of test matches since then. They may have played against Bangladesh and all, but look at the gap. That's the thing, and you're only going to play 2-2 tests. What's the big deal in it? So that is why Siraj, we want a break. Shami, you're saying, please let him play. Sarfaraz, what wrong has he done? I just don't get it. I don't know how much to read into the India A selection bit, but honestly, there are some flummoxing decisions for me. Especially when it comes to Siraj, especially when it comes to Shami or non-omission, because I don't know what the communication is. Has it been communicated that, boss, minimum 5 Ranji games? Only then you're getting a chance.
Yeah, I don't understand the communication part of it, because if you go back to that core basis, let him speak whatever he wants. Like, yeesh.
That means there is no communication.
And in fact, it also it suggests a little degree of offhandedness.
Yeah.
And that's what is more concerning.
It just
is
sounds
that then
bitter.
what is going on? Yes, correct. It sounds bitter. And the thing is, if he's been told that, listen here, boss, you have to play 5 games and do well in them, then you'll be back in our radar. I don't think he'd be speaking like this.
I think there has been no communication whatsoever. But the situation's also died down. Because after that, whereas Shami given any kind of a statement, I think Ajit Agarkar might have told him on the phone, boss, this is the way we are looking at it. You regain fitness, forget India A. We will pick you for the South Africa series because you'll do well in Ranji. Maybe there are 2 alternate pathways for the BCCI. One, give certain players India A exposure. Others, let them get Ranji exposure. Perhaps that's also the way. Because that's how it's died down in that sense. So, in that way, this is a very big selection conundrum that's had.
Yeah, and it's one which doesn't, I don't understand a lot of it, because again, truth be told, I'm looking at those and there are a lot of puzzling things. I mean, we kept talking about them, but it says a lot that we can't really find concrete answers. Everything is in the realm of speculation and if, buts and maybes.
Yeah.
Yep. So let's take a couple of comments that are there. Ashish there is saying, once player or his own or
His
his
known people, basically.
starts to say in open, he's thrown out cold. Shami, Ishwaran, Sarfaraz, Yuvraj, Harbhajan.
Yuvraj
Also-
Harbhajan, what did they do?
mean, also GG obsession with all-rounders. Maybe I agree on the second point.
The all-rounder thing I mentioned, right? You see, look, you've got Manav Sudhar, you've got Kamboj, all these guys in the...
It'll be very silly if that's exactly the template that you want to follow in your A matches as well.
Exactly.
Because, see, you can't really undermine the need for specialists, right?
Not in tests.
Exactly. I know you want to battle number 8, but again, look at the number of all-rounders in that side as well that we were just glancing through.
But once a player or his known starts to say in open, see, it's a free country, right? Why can't you say it in the open?
And someone like an Ishwaran has every right to be a little aggrieved. Ishwaran is basically Sarfaraz without the test cap.
Yeah.
He's done very well in domestic for a long time. 40 plus average for Bengal, who haven't exactly been lighting the stage on fire when it comes to Ranji Trophy. So he's been one of the better performers in a team that has struggled. You've kept him on the tour for years at this point in time. You always hear Ishwaran's name being thrown out, but he doesn't get a look in at all. It's a bit unfortunate. I know, see, he's an opener technically, so you might struggle to fit him in there just a little bit. But I think a lot of these players, if you give them a chance, they'd be more than happy taking a different batting position. Sarfaraz is not necessarily a 5-6 kind of a batter. He can bat higher up the order, but he batted at 5 or 6 for India. You know why? Because he has been given the chance to bat there. He would take that chance to bat.
Exactly. So how on earth can you do it? I don't know. But let's see. This is where that dark underbelly. You don't reward players on domestic performance. It's speaking through their frustrations. I mean, look at it. A Sai Sudarshan comes through not on the back of first class form. He comes through on IPL form.
Yeah, because
his first class average is below 40.
Yeah, 39.
Yeah. But he gets the vice captaincy and he's already played tests. Ishwaran has been captain of India A, but he doesn't get to play a test match. And who was the last player that got rewarded on the basis of Ranji form alone? Before Sarfaraz.
Mayank.
And Mayank was a good 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
So
to an
or
extent,
maybe
you can say
Rajat.
Hanuman.
Rajat as
Hanuma
well.
Vihari was another player who did well domestically, but then you didn't take you 2 seconds to dump him when it really came
see,
down to it.
you didn't give him flat conditions, tough conditions.
I'm going to add Rajat Patidar as well.
Patidar, yeah.
Yes.
Rajat Patidar.
But again, he also was out as soon as Mukesh had done well domestically.
Mukesh, yes.
But of course, he paid the price for getting battered by baseball era England.
Yeah.
Mukesh, as quickly as the star.
Hey, you
rose,
made him play in other formats
He
as
made
well,
him
yeah.
a 3-format player
Yeah.
in 2 months.
He made his debut in West Indies. Every format.
Yeah.
Now gone. He's
Now
nowhere
nowhere
in
to
the
be
thing. Danush is saying huge respect to Chika to speak the truth about Harshit and Gigi.
See,
Are you sure about that?
yeah, exactly. Chika is known for saying a lot of outrageous things. Let's not give it
You
too
know,
much.
while we all recognize the fact that he's a senior statesman and he's done wonderful for Indian cricket, at the moment though, I'd say everything that he's saying may not necessarily be true, guys.
It's his opinion.
See,
Yeah, just don't get carried
how
away,
do
please,
you
because some of
fault
those
Harshit
statements
Rana? What wrong has he
are
done?
harsh. You know, everyone understands, Siddharth, where the whole joke and the meme fest around Harshit Rana comes from. It comes from the way in which he was introduced to international cricket because it benefited a certain franchise, and that's it. Obviously, when you look at him, when you look at the coach, the history of the coach and the concerned franchise, everything put together, people are just saying 2 + 2 is 4, which may not be true, whatever, it's up for speculation. But yeah, that happened, and I think it's the upset from that time.
Well, I think now surely we've reached a point where there's been a year. Move on, guys.
Yeah.
You can't be holding a grudge for that long. And which then takes you to the next comment also from, I think, Siva Subramaniam. He says that one great thing about Chika, he never buckles down. He even called Ashwin a hypocrite for his sudden support to Arshit after he criticized him. But see, this is again a case of where Chika, I think, fell victim to a little bit of he says he said, because Ashwin in one same video actually pointed out that whilst I understand why a Harshit gets selected, there is something about him. Does he deserve to be playing right now? No. So he was pretty open. And in fact, some of the things Ashwin said, if you listen, and I know because I had done that video, it's perfectly logical. Ashwin is many things. But when it comes to his analysis, I tend to agree with him more often than not. Even if I don't agree with him, I'll understand where he's coming from because there is logic behind his analysis. There is some sort of a thought process. With Chika, I feel like, and it's ironic for someone of his age, it's all about the hot takes. That's it. I'll say something which could potentially go viral, And then in that regard, that's pretty much the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last couple of comments. Dev Pratap Singh Chauhan is saying, guys, we like it or not, selectors have decided to move past all seniors for WC27. Shami, Jadeja are easy to remove. Call on Rocco will be taken after 9 matches. How was Diwali of your?
To answer the last question, we've all spoken about it in the beginning of the video. So rewind the tape and you'll get to know.
Can
the
you
answer to
really take a call on Rocco after 9 games?
that. I mean, yes, you can. Sadly, I think you can.
9.
Oh, why not?
You're playing 24 in the.
The 9 games, Baba, is
Until January.
exactly.
Yeah.
The 9 games I'm talking about is 3 against Australia, 3 against South Africa, and then 3 against New Zealand. That's 9 matches.
Because see, Sunil Gavaskar also mentioned on Sports Today that the gaps are going to be challenging in ODIs.
I think those gaps, by the way, are the main reason why it is that you haven't seen Agarkar and Gambhir commit outright
Correct.
to playing them. You know why that's the case? Because those gaps, the problem with those gaps is not so much that you'll forget how to play or anything, but you don't stay in rhythm. I see this a lot going viral on social media where people talk about the highs of Kohli from 2016 to 19. But what is the one common thing about Kohli from 2016 to 19? He was playing all 3 formats. So even when he took breaks from certain tours, his comebacks would be relatively quick because he'd be available for all formats that were being played, which meant that out of 365 days of a calendar year, at the very least 200 odd days, he'd be playing cricket. There is no substitute for match fitness when it comes to it except for playing games. You need to be playing games. You don't play for 7 months, I don't care, you could be God. But you are going to struggle to time the ball in the same manner. You're going to struggle to see the ball in the same manner. It's not that simple. A few knockabouts in the nets are not going to be enough to compensate for actual match practice. Match practice is the key. It can come against any opposition. You need match practice, which is why I think why he's pointing out the 9 matches thing is because those 9 matches will be coming at a relatively quick interval. It's from like mid-October to like January. So those times, those 9 matches, and of course the couple of domestic games that Rocco plays, I'll have to agree with him. I think very well you could see a call taken on them after that, if at all.
See, if they don't do well in Australia, then those doubts will only increase. Yeah. And they have already not had a good start. Unfortunately, maybe Adelaide is the venue where they can turn, but that is for tomorrow, which we'll be discussing. And Anit Sadhu is like saying, Shami position will be in danger once Mukesh Kumar returns to Bengal after injury.
Not a chance. Shami is levels above Mukesh Kumar. No disrespect to Mukesh Kumar. If anything, Mukesh Kumar might probably end up dropping further down the order because Shami in his first game against Uttarakhand, 7 wickets. Yeah, Shami might be no longer the same Shami which we remember 23, but he's still Shami. Yeah. Come on.
Which is what Vinod is like saying, Rahul Dravid. Shami's ODI snub is curious. He's the best World Cup bowler ever on par with Stark. Even better, don't see any issue with ODI fitness. Tests may be debatable. We need him in SA conditions in 2027 World Cup.
Read the kind of zip that he could bring to you in those sort of conditions. Yes, absolutely.
Shami has a great record in South Africa, by the way.
Absolutely.
So, along with Australia, he doesn't struggle in those 2 Sena countries.
Scroll slightly up. We'll take a couple more comments. There is one which Freaking Awesome says, actually both Chika and Gigi are biased. Those who are following him know it. They favor their favorite players. I agree. Even Chika, I do tend to think his biases are skewed.
Of course. See, there is nothing because our Indian, the way how we think, achieving neutrality in anything is a big problem. We can't achieve neutrality because we are either bound by the place where we stay, we are bound by the local influences that are there. How can we be neutral?
There's a lot of allegiances which come into play.
Exactly. And your system is such that you have to have allegiance. You can't work in a vacuum.
I think also where we are, the times have changed, the discourse has changed. The present discourse doesn't allow you to be neutral.
Correct. Then Priyanshu is asking all 3 of us, Son Papdi Khali?
I distributed some to people.
Yeah, I didn't. Okay, so shall we call it a night, gentlemen?
Yes.
Okay, so yes, today all the sporting action post Diwali is done, but tomorrow we'll be having a big preview for the second ODI. Remember, India have to win it to stay alive.
I thought you were going to say big preview to Champions League nights because that's also back.
Oh yes, the Champions League matches are back after how many months break?
About nearly a month because there was those international breaks and everything that came in. It's been a while.
So actually tomorrow lots to look forward to. because you'll be doing the big preview. Plus, you've got Al Nassr versus FC Goa in the AFC Champions League too. That also is coming up tomorrow.
You mean you might not have Ronaldo, but guys, there's a lot of good talent there.
There's
You've
Sadio
got
Mane.
there's Sadio Mane,
Felix.
there's Kingsley Coman.
There's going to be Felix as well, na?
Yao
Yeah,
Felix.
Yao Felix is the king of the flat track bullies. He'll get a hat trick tomorrow.
Oh, you think so?
I know so. He could very easily. He's meant his kind of silky smooth play is meant for teams like FC Goa. And I'm not being disrespectful to FC Goa, but it's just that a player like him they'd not be able to contend with. And I've watched him twice up close in Chelsea colours. I know what he can do against certain opposition. FC Goa is right up his alley.
Okay, so yes, tomorrow we'll be doing the preview to the India-Australia game in Adelaide, and
Plenty more also coming your way.
plenty more coming your way. So from me, Shane and Harshit, it is bye-bye, Nandri, Vanakkam.
Shubh Ratri, Shab Bakhair, eat your vegetables.
Enjoy the festivities because we are in the middle of festival week. I mean, 23rd is also festival week. 26th is also a big festival coming up, and that's why enjoy. So subscribe to Sports Today and continue showering us all the love.
Bye.
Bye-bye.